What does protection of a black woman look like?
I don't personally think it's fair to have my wife, my daughter, my mother, my sister, my aunts, my family, who are all black women, to suffer that because I needed to be noble.
Part of being the protector is knowing when.
I'm exposing my wife and my daughter to possibly seeing me go through a police encounter. That's a whole different ball game. It's time to go.
We watched a clip. I want to play this clip for y'all of a black woman describing how it feels to be protected. Let's take a look.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like is pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is, protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control. And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
That couldn't have said it better myself. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So she started off by saying that protection has a good sense of control.
Yeah.
Right? Not everybody's built to protect you.
That's fire.
Not everybody's built to protect you.
Not everybody's built for that.
And just because he don't fly off the handle every time somebody kind of looks at you any kind of way does not mean you're not being protected.
Facts.
Okay?
Absolutely.
There is a level of control. There is a level of wisdom that comes with protection.
That's true.
I don't want him going around beating every dude that decides they want to look at me.
Because that's still not protecting.
Because that's not protecting me.
That's not protection.
The aggression.
That's aggression.
There's a difference.
There's a difference. There's a fundamental difference.
But I do remember one time we were walking in the movie theater. I gotta tell this story. So
why am I always about to fight somebody, man?
We walking in this movie theater, right? And you know me, I'm like, we gotta get to our seats, right? So I was kind of walking ahead of him. And he had like the popcorn or whatever. So he was kind of behind me. And this guy walks by me. But he walks by me so close that he almost like hit me. Like walked into me. He didn't touch me. But
she was uncomfortable enough that she turned around and looked at him.
So I turned around and looked at him. So Tobari's like,
Yo,
you just gonna walk into my girl like that?
I just turned around and started walking toward him. She was like, no.
And so I was like, and so he's like, you just gonna walk into my girl like that? And he looked at me, he's like, babe, did he hit you? Or did he walk into you? And I was like, no, he didn't touch me. He genuinely didn't. And he's going on, yeah, man, I ain't even hit her.
Cool.
He's like, all right. And then Tobari, but cool. He was like,
he started going off. You can go off all by yourself. That's your nigga moment. I'm done. As long as you didn't hit her. The minute you hit her, now we got a problem.
Right. But there's been guys that will come up and talk to me. He's not flying off the handle. This dude's talking to me. So again, it's situational.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about what's that Tyler Perry movie?
Confessions of a Marriage Counselor.
That one.
That was the one
That's
I was
the one
thinking.
where
Go watch it.
They're
y'all.
walking down the street and it's 4 dudes or 5 dudes and they're catcalling her and he's like, let's just keep going.
So they were married for years, right? And they're together. They go on a date.
Yes. And they start catcalling her. He's like, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. Don't worry about them. No. And she's like, well, you're not going to stand up for me. You're not going to protect me.
I mean, she's like
and
going
she's
off at
going
the mouth
off
at them. She's like, I'm not this. Why y'all talking to me like that? I'm not no hoe. Da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, come on, let's just keep walking.
Come on,
let's just
man.
keep walking.
Let's just keep going.
And then she lays in the bed later and she's like, I just feel so like, she didn't say the word unprotected, but she kind of just like, I just feel so gross, right? And he was like, babe, they could have had guns. We did the right thing.
More than guns, they could have been unarmed completely. It's 4 or 5 of them against you because they're not going to fight you. They're going to talk crap to you and fight me. Right. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
And okay, I respect it, but.
And she felt very unprotected. Fast forward, she meets a guy that's interested in her, right? She goes running with the guy or meets him at the park and they run together and this guy runs into her on his bike. And
completely
the guy that she ends up having an affair, it was an accident. The guy she ends up having an affair with starts beating on this guy. How you gonna run into her and how you gonna do that? And she's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But she felt protected in that moment. Mm-hmm. Something her husband, that little 20% that you feel like you're not getting your marriage, there it was. Her husband, she felt like her husband wasn't protecting her, but he was.
He was protecting
her. So now
her.
she felt attracted because she felt like she was lacking that protection.
But that's the problem. She mistook aggression for protection.
Right. But she didn't know.
She didn't know the difference. But that's my point. She didn't need to know the difference. She needed to understand that her husband was there for a reason and this guy in the park was there for a reason. And if she just took a minute to understand that, she would have understood that the protection comes with wisdom. Protection isn't always violence. That's the problem. Well, protection is not always violence. So if you have to look for violence to see protection, you're going to get your wires crossed and you're going to confuse certain things for other things. As it turns out, he started being violent to her mom. He started being violent to her. So violence isn't protection. Right. Protection is covering and prevention. And only last is it violence. Only if it has to be.
Yeah.
Only if it has to be.
And this is why education is so important, right? Because you don't know what you don't know. Facts. Right? A lot of the time, yes, we do group protection and aggression together because we don't know the difference. But a lot of time we're like, oh, no. Some people know that, okay, you're aggressive. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time we group it together. I want a man that's going to protect me. But what does that look like?
What does that look like?
For me as a woman, that's protecting my peace. Right? That's protecting everything we've built. That's protecting.
Facts.
That is what that looks like.
Protecting the legacy.
Now, how that happens, I leave to the protector.
There you go.
But I also state what I need as a woman to feel protected as a black woman.
There you go.
My peace.
Yeah.
What we've built. Mm-hmm. My privacy. Like all of those things, I have to communicate to him. This is where I need protection as a black woman, right? It can't be on. I do get a say in how I feel protected. How that looks, though.
That's up to me.
He's the protector.
That's me.
I've trusted him to protect me and our daughter.
Absolutely.
And his sister and his mom, that, all of that too. But for me, I do say, hey, this is how I feel protected.
Yeah.
But I'm also not necessarily a protector. Maybe my daughter a little bit, but I don't, I also, like she said in the video, in turn, protect him by the way I move and carry myself.
Women, that is real. Because you don't always know what it looks like. What you see in the world isn't always what I see in the world. And what I see in the world, I'd rather protect you from a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'd rather protect you from a lot of the time. If I can protect you from having to see the violence, I'd like to do that. Yeah. I'd like to not have you see me in a violent manner, because once you see me in a violent light, it's hard not to see me in a violent. Now, every time I'm watching sports game and I'm like, come on, on, you're jumping PTSD and stuff because you didn't think I was capable of it for real. I mean, it was cool once it was in the imagination, but once
Yeah.
you saw it in real life, it was like, I don't want that.
Right.
That's too much.
That's too
I don't
much.
want that. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And there's been times when I would call him and I'd be like, babe, excuse me, I don't know what to do about this situation. I remember one time I went to McDonald's. I think I had London in the car, and this woman,
Yeah, you had London. I
woman
remember
had
that.
asked me for a ride.
Nope.
She looked, I mean, it was a woman. If it was a man, obviously not.
Nope.
But I called him on the phone. I'm like, babe, what should I do here? Or there's times I'll call him and be like, hey, babe, I'm letting you know this happened or this is happening or something. I can't think of a specific situation, but there would be times that I'm calling you and say, hey, I'm letting you know that this is happening or this is, you know, and it's not always some man around or whatever. Like I said, it was that woman wanted a ride and he was like, no.
No.
He was like, no.
Absolutely
He's
not.
like, I don't care how nice she looks. I don't
Nope.
care how sweet she is.
No.
No. She can't get in the car. Now, me, I'm like, oh, you know, trying to help a sister out or whatever. You know, trying to
Absolutely not.
do my good deed for the day. And then he's like, no.
Because I understand, because I've done my research, that what happens is a lot of the time, and I'm not saying it could have been this lady. She could have just been down on her
Yeah.
luck. But I know that what happens is a woman will come by and say, hey, can I get a ride here? You say, yeah, sure, hop in. You get in the car. She goes, turn here, turn here, turn here, turn here. Pull into this parking lot. And next thing you know, 4 guys jump the car. You know what they do there? Sex trafficking. That happens. Now, is that far-fetched? Maybe. But it happens.
It does happen.
And again, protection comes with first prevention. So if I can
Hold on.
prevent,
Say that again, baby. Come on.
protection first comes with prevention. So if I can prevent a scenario from happening, that is the highest form of protection. But the problem is that's invisible. Don't nobody see that but me.
Right.
All I told her to do was politely decline, and it's time for you to go. Because if you've been marked, I need you to get out of the situation as fast as possible. And it may not have been the case, but am I going to take that chance? Hell
He
no.
wasn't there. He's at home at this point.
I wasn't with them.
So I was like, here, you know, I said, I think I had a couple dollars. I was like, here's a couple dollars. I don't even know if Uber was a thing. It might have been.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, here's a couple dollars. Get yourself on the bus or whatever. I can't. I gotta go.
No. That's real. So all of that to say, protection first comes with prevention. And then it comes with standing in the gap. And only after everything else is exhausted does it lead to violence. I can be violent. I don't like to be violent, and I don't want to be violent. I damn sure don't want to be violent in front of my child. But I will protect them with my life, but I'll protect them with my life. I don't owe anybody else anything like that.
Yeah.
And where I would love someone to stand in the gap for my daughter, if that was ever the case, the truth of the matter is to expect it is a mistake. That's my job until her husband comes. And then I stand at the wedding and say, it's your job to protect her now. I hold you responsible. Just like her daddy did for me. And I
Right.
take it seriously.
Right.
That's the truth.
So, babe, what do you say to that person that looks at our first clip? Check it out. If y'all didn't see it, go back. We posted the first clip of the woman who got hit in the head with a brick by a man who she did not give her number to. What do you say to that person who feels like, okay, let's start with this. Do you feel she was justified in her feelings about it? Like, all of these black men were around and none of them protected me. And then what do you say to the person who feels like, yeah, here's a great example of this black woman that wasn't protected?
Ooh, okay. So this is a nuanced, complicated answer. You should never put your hands on a woman, period. That is a crime. And that crime should be punished to the full extent of the law. Here's my problem with that. People break the law all the time. So saying that to me from a prevention standpoint doesn't mean anything. Sorry. People get murdered raped all the time. People get stolen from, held up, robbed all the time, assaulted all the time. It's been against the law, but people still do it. So for as much as I feel like she's justified in her feelings about it, she's justified in her feelings about it. Because what's also true is if the men on hand didn't do anything, there's a big part of me that goes, why? Why didn't they do something? When nobody did anything? Why? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know that I could see a woman get hit in the face and do nothing. But at the same time, I can understand a man who says, I need to go home to my wife and kids. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know why you're here for that. So is she justified in her feelings? Sure, I guess. But the truth is, if I got to come home tonight, I got to come home tonight. Your feelings about me having to come home tonight, kind of irrelevant. Because I got to get home tonight. Because I owe that allegiance to you and to my daughter, first and foremost. To anybody else, if I decide to give it, beautiful. But if something happens, it's on me. And they have to suffer those consequences. Right. Because prevention is first and foremost. And the problem is prevention comes with a certain amount of control. Ooh, that's the hard part. Because for a person who feels unprotected, to give up control to another person to feel protected is a hard thing. Yes. I acknowledge it for what it is. It is difficult. Yes. I understand that. Yes. And if you've done it before and feel taken advantage of by that thought process, and you thought this person was going to protect you and turns out no, it's even harder to do it. So can I be mad at her for feeling away? No. But her feeling away has nothing to do with the reality that I need to come home to the people who I've actually pledged before people, her parents, and God that I would protect. That comes first. Like, not even close. So, is she justified? Sure, but doesn't change the reality. And, you know, some people are saying, well, you know, she's the one who goes around slapping people, and though they're in on the joke, that's what she puts out in the world. She puts herself in very awkward positions. So I can also see a man, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but I can see a man going, yeah, I'm not doing that for you. I'm not doing that for you. I'm not doing that. I'm not even going to begin to try, because you could be playing, you could be doing something for the gram. I don't know. Who am I to step in? Just like in the example that I told earlier. I was wrong for trying to protect that black woman who didn't want my protection. She would rather get hit in the face by the dude who was hitting her in her face. Okay.
And I think that brings the question of, as a woman, as a black woman, as a woman, do you feel like it is every black man's responsibility to protect you?
Let's leave that in the comments. As a black woman,
I want y'all to answer this. Do you feel that whether you're married, single, divorced, whatever, do you feel that it's every man's job to protect you? I need to answer that question myself.
Yeah, I want to know.
Because I don't think I've ever asked myself that question. Here's my protector, right? I have a protector, God first.
Amen.
Number one, right? And then I look for him for protection, right? You may say your father was your first protector, or should have been your first protector. You know, so there's, you know, you have different levels there, different people in your life that protect you. Brothers. Mm-hmm. I know him and his brother definitely protect and look out for their sister. Don't try Tamara Jade. Shout out. Don't try her, because her brothers will come for you.
You don't want it.
Okay? So you have different men in your life that protect you. But do you still expect black men as a whole to protect you if you're out in the public? Do you say, okay, nobody protected me, so that's the problem today? Black men don't protect their women. What does that look like for you?
Be specific.
Also, women, when you're in your relationship, you need to know how you feel protected.
It's important.
Because even though he's the protector, you have to know how you need to feel protected. And you have to communicate that.
That's real.
Right?
That's
because he ain't gonna know.
That's real.
We got these are the deep discussions that y'all have.
It's got to go.
This
and you
is
gotta,
how I feel protected.
And you got to take your emotions out of it. You can't be rah about. Cause we really got to get down to the nitty gritty. This is that hard conversation you got to have 26 times to really get it right.
Really?
I mean,
our conversation started out, baby, you're not locking the door of our house. I don't feel protected.
It's true.
Like, seriously, y'all, we were married for probably a year.
5 minutes.
And I'm like, baby, I don't feel protected because you're not turning on the alarm. To the point where now, I'm not talking about the alarm. I'm not talking about the doors being locked. I'm talking about protecting my peace. Protecting what we've built.
Let's go.
Protecting our space. Our relationship space, our personal space, our home. I'm talking about we've had all of those conversations. That's what you say. You gotta have these conversations 26 times
and more. But and do it like fervently. You gotta really do it, because if not, you're gonna be surprised. Wait, you feel unprotected because you picked a fugazi lock that up and down for normal people is locked, and then yours is sideways for some random ass reason. And now I'm
about me like that.
I'm locking the door in my mind, up and down. No, that's not that. It's not up and down.
Yo,
okay, all right, my bad.
Y'all, it's a true story.
It's
y'all.
real.
It's a true story.
It's real. But she legit didn't feel protected. Same like the lady in the movie who felt like, well, no. If these people are saying something, you need to protect my honor. No, I need to protect your body, your head. I need to protect your neck. And these guys have no problem breaking both of ours, so we need to get out of here. That's what we need to do. That's protection.
Right.
Let's prevent something from happening. That's what it is.
I love this. Prevention, number 1. Control. Wisdom.
It has to be. It has to fall in order, or else if I lead with aggression and I'm just knocking people out, I'm going to Giselle. Guess what's going to happen?
That's if they don't kill you first.
This two person household now is down one whole income. What happens then? Who am I protecting then?
Not me in London.
Am I protecting? No. And guess what? When she finds somebody else who stands in the gap for that, who am I mad at? I'm mad at her for needing protection, or am I mad at me that I was going around hitting people? Now I had to go sit down 3 to 5 because No. Prevention comes first.
Right.
So what are we doing to prevent?
Right.
Because if we're not doing anything to prevent, we may just be asking for trouble. But do us a favor, leave it in the comment section what you think protection looks like for you, especially if you're a black woman. We genuinely want to know.
And for women like her and all women who have been, unfortunately, in a violent situation, our heart goes out to you.
Absolutely.
We definitely don't take these types of situations lightly, where we know that it's traumatic to, as a woman, as a black woman, to feel like you've been attacked and you feel unprotected. So our heart goes out to you guys, but we really do want to know what you guys think about this. We really, really do. This is such an important topic for us to talk about.
Because if black men and black women can protect each other, that means we're doing better together.
I like that.
See?
Catch us on the next one, y'all. Peace. Like and subscribe.